Good afternoon, everyone. We're going to be looking at a panel from the new Venna's Planet Volume 3, which I am, as I speak, working on. So we're just going to go with the opening panel now. May have music, may not.
As it turns out, it doesn't have music. Maybe we'll fix that for the next one. Let's go straight into this panel. A triangular panel, and it butts onto the one on the just to the top left of the picture, which we'll come back to later, in which we see this character, who is Shelley with one E, running up the staircase. The person with her is Clig, who's a slightly dodgy security guard, but we're not quite sure where his loyalties lie. But he has warned her not to run towards the door as they're shutting, because she'll be crushed. But her newfound physical strength has put paid to that. I've drawn in the rough outline of her, so I'm just filling in the putting in the proper outlines and the textures and details here. Shelley isn't seen very much apart from the beginning of the first volume, and she makes a few appearances in the second volume. Well, no, in fact, she does have rather a large part in the first one, because she is captured by somebody else. She does get all kinds of pretty ghastly things happen to her. And she's such an innocent, sweet girl, and I think this is why Venna likes her so much, because she's actually down to earth. And the story is sort of about trying to make a home on a hostile world, and other forces making that extremely difficult, if not impossible. Her relationship with Venna is established in the very first few pages of Volume 1, after which they're separated. In this book, we see Shelley having been abducted by these aliens called the Saigalax, who tried to brainwash her. In fact, they do brainwash her to commit this deed, this task, perform this task, as they would say. The Saigalax are the other main alien group in this book. We're not counting the humans, and we're not counting the indigenous tribes of the planet on which the action takes place. They are called the Saigalax. I think I may have mentioned that, and they do make a few appearances in the first book, and they make significant appearances in this one, and this is where Shelley and Clig have been abducted by them. So we're now going to try and make Shelley look a bit more scary. She really has her blood up, and she doesn't really quite know what she's doing. They've made her believe that Venna is her mortal enemy, and they've given her this killer instinct. So we'll have to see what happens with that. A certain amount of effort has gone in this time to making the costumes consistent. I did notice on the black and white ones that I would find that sometimes the uniforms would change design slightly from panel to panel. I do know what I was drawing it over a long period of time, but I should have had my eye on that. So I'm trying to keep it right this time, even if to give it a degree of verisimilitude. Oh, didn't know I could say that. Yep. Shelley is just a kindly, normal girl, and just the exact opposite of everything that's happening. She's just like the girl next door. Maybe that's why. Well, I'm convinced. In fact, she said it herself, that this is why Venna wants to be with her. She had been the protege of the main villainess, Galo, the otherwise known as the Countess, who had treated her quite badly, and has a slightly unhealthy attitude towards her, and is only really happy when she's Venna's either doing exactly as she was told, or she was in a situation or circumstances where she was punishing Venna or even torturing her. And Shelley was exactly the opposite, or was exactly the opposite of that. And it isn't even necessarily so that it's a sexual or even romantic relationship. It's they're just deeply in love, but it's a good love. It's about caring and wanting the best for the other one. So, but they've been thrown into a situation now where normality has no place. Now we're putting in the pinkish hue here in Shelley's face. She's absolutely beside herself. Doesn't even know what she's doing. It's almost like the Saigalax are talking through her. So we have the Saigalax, who are the ones that have come from somewhere else, and the Vloxodars, who are the ones that are in control of things, but we'll go into that later. That's a complicated aspect of the story. And I've already, so just going to make sure the fingers are right, get the little fingers in and the fingernails and these little tiny details, which are important. They're easy to miss. Sometimes working on something of this scale, it is easy to miss small details. And having moved her arm, we're now going to put her other leg, her right leg, outside of the door frame. So it does give a much stronger impression that she is stepping in from outside. She's coming up the stairs and she's coming into that room. And I'm sorry about all the sudden movements of this, because of it's speeded up 10 times at least, maybe more than that. So when I make a slight movement on the tablet, on the Wacom tablet, it's amplified many times on here. So I do apologise for that. It's rather difficult to watch sometimes. Now Venna has seen it for the first time in, well, it seems to us like months, because there's a lot of things that have happened, but it is only a couple of days since she last saw her. Oh, and I'll just say here, I'm changing the expression of the guard on our right here. She wasn't really reacting quite strongly enough, so that looks a lot better now. I haven't really changed her face, made it look any different. I've just changed her expression. And we're putting in highlights now. We do need a few highlights. Later I'll be darkening down one side of the picture to give these foreground characters a bit more tone. I would go solid black on some of the darker areas, but the room is supposed to be reasonably well lit, so I don't want to make it too dark on one side. It wouldn't really be quite right. It might be more dynamic. It wouldn't be quite right. I do love digital technology. I mean, if I'd been using ink and brushes and pencils on paper on this, it would have taken me years and years and years, instead of just years. This is the panel as it looks at the moment, and these are the currently available volumes of Venna's Planet Special Edition. They're available from Amazon or your favourite online marketplace. They're published by Andrews UK, and they're really, really worth having, especially if you get the ultra quality versions. Thank you for watching and for listening.